now without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce today's first speaker, Lisa Zielinski, Senior Vice President with Ipsos Creative Excellence. Lisa, you have the floor.
Thanks so much, Ellen, and thanks everyone for joining us today for the Ipsos Super Bowl Awards show, where we'll celebrate the winners of advertising's biggest stage and learn from their successes. This year we had a really high energy game, a very buzzy halftime show, surrounded by many lighthearted, celebrity-studded, and some surprising advertisements. At Ipsos Creative Excellence, we were really intently focused on the commercial breaks and watching brands funnel an entire year's worth of work and around $7 million into a 30-second flash. Some of you in the audience work on those brands and are maybe here to learn about how to do it even better next year. And some in the audience would never dream of airing a Super Bowl ad, but there's still plenty of learning here for you today on how to create effective advertising. So, we're here for the awards. Who are we to judge the awards? At Ipsos Creative Excellence, we help advertisers connect with the people that matter the most, their viewers, throughout the creative development process. So from co-creating the creative brief to identifying the merits of a foundational campaign idea to validating executions and measuring campaigns in flight, we know that if we take our clients and agencies on an evidence-based journey, it's going to give them the confidence to pursue creativity and to lead to more effective creative in the end. So that's really our mission within our team. We've been doing this for a long time, over 40 years, and so we've analyzed thousands and thousands of ads and built up a lot of data around how advertising works, and those data are the foundation of a lot of what you'll see us talk about today. We're inspired by our industry partners that you see here and would like to give a special thanks to Ipsos SMX and Synthesio for contributing the social and conversational perspectives that are really critical for us to understand the complete impact of Super Bowl advertising. So, how did we determine which ads won an award? There's a lot of nuance in advertising effectiveness, and so we wanted to gain a more holistic understanding rather than just rank ads by a meaningless one question rating, let's say. So 22 of the ads from the game were selected for a robust evaluation in our Creative Spark method. We placed the ad in a cluttered environment to understand its ability to cut through and deliver a branded impression to the viewer. And this study also looks at how well the ad delivered an impact on the brand by measuring behavior change and brand relationship lifts that the ad creates pre versus post exposure. Creative Spark delivers KPIs that are validated to in-market sales lift and brand equity lifts. So when we talk about effectiveness today, we mean the creative's ability to deliver actual business outcomes for these brands. The study also includes rich diagnostics like facial coding and open ends to help us diagnose what elements worked and didn't, and we leaned into those a lot for this evaluation. We also had our Ipsos online communities, and they leveraged their Fresh Lab platform, which is a syndicated community of 6,000 members across the United States. We had real-time conversations with consumers during the game to get in-the-moment reactions. We leveraged Fast Facts on our Ipsos digital platform to get fast feedback on questions immediately following the game. So, for example, we asked what brands they recalled seeing on an open-ended basis so that we can understand after that last play had finished what ads really stuck and what was forgotten. Finally, Ipsos's social intelligence analytics team leveraged Synthesio's platform to analyze social interactions that happen in the weeks leading up to and during the game. So, without further ado, let's get started with the awards. Our first award category is the Happy CFO Award, and this award goes to the ad that's predicted to deliver the strongest return on investment. The winner here by far is Popcorners. Let's watch the ad and then we'll talk about what it does well.
Yo, these are the bomb!
And they're air popped, not fried.
Popcorners? You're an artist.
Actually, Jesse, it's just basic ingredients. No, we don't eat our own supply.
Mr. White!
Jesse.
Everyone's gonna want to taste one of these. call them popcorners.
Type!
We've got 6 signature flavors, Joe.
7! You make 7!
7 works.
All right, so if we want to go to the next slide, in Creative Spark, the Creative Effect Index measures the ad's likelihood to deliver short-term effects for the brand. Ads that score 130 or above on this measure deliver 44% greater sales lift on average versus those that score under 70. And you can see that there's been a big range, quite a range in results in the Super Bowl creative that we've tested over the years. So as you're looking at this chart, just imagine all of those advertising dollars that are not being used to their fullest potential. What's incredible about the case of Popcorners is that it performs significantly higher than any of the Super Bowl ads that we've tested over the past 3 years. So that's one very happy CFO. So what does Popcorners do so well? Well, it follows a lot of our best practices. First, it gains attention by tapping into a culturally relevant show that people immediately recognized. We had some debate on how recognizable and how well-known Breaking Bad is. And we saw that 80% of viewers we tested with understood the Breaking Bad reference, and we saw them engage positively in the story right away in the facial coding. There was no confusion. Second, and this is something that's really difficult to nail, is this ad doesn't let that Breaking Bad connection overshadow the brand. It uses the tie into the show and the humor and those key moments to actually highlight the brand and its addictive craveability. So for example, when Walter tells Jesse, we don't eat our own supply. Third, it delivers product-specific RTBs like air pop not fried and 7 flavors, but in a way that's really natural to the character interaction and the story rather than sort of force-fitting them in a cringy and inauthentic way. We saw in the Spark results that not only did viewers recall these specific benefits at really high levels, but they specifically called them out as new and interesting and motivating information. And finally, this ad is a great example of the power of hedonic sensory in delivering cravings through food advertising. The over-the-top crunch that we all heard, that lets viewers know exactly what that eating experience is going to be like. And the characters tasting the chip have a positive emotional response that drives that strong behavior change and interest in choosing the brand next time. So that's our Happy CFO Award. Shifting gears a bit, this year's game was really star-studded. We had a wide array of celebrity appearances. And what was interesting was that even with that much star power, the majority of those that we surveyed after the game felt like it was the same good use of celebrities as any other year. So underscoring how much consumers have really grown to expect them to see them on advertising's biggest stage. While celebrities abound, there was one pair working on many levels to drive effectiveness. So the winner of Best Celebrity Sighting goes to Duncan, which featured Bennifer. Let's have a watch.
Welcome to Dunkin' and new special. Dunkin' run medium or large coffee, get a donut for an incremental $1. Like, how can it be this inexpensive and good?
Cream, no sugar.
I'm just gonna have to just give you 10 munchkins. You look a little lost. 1 second, I'm trying to find the bagels. Do I look familiar?
Oh.
Should I be in it or do you want just a self-portrait?
What are you doing here?
Embarrass me if I
Is this what you do when you say you're going to work all day?
I gotta go, guys.
Grab me a glaze.
I love that the joke at the end. We had a lot of debate on whether or not J-Lo would actually eat a glazed donut within our team. So this Dunkin' ad really hits the trifecta on what we see drives success with celebrities in advertising. First, you want that celebrity to bring their star power to buy attention. This is particularly successful when the celebrity brings entertainment value, humor, or they're playing off of other characters in the ad. 52% of people we surveyed agreed that the celebrities in the Dunkin' spot made the ad more memorable. And this was among the top of the celebrity performances in the ads that we tested. Sometimes celebrities can overshadow the brand, but we didn't see that happen here. When we surveyed people after the game, Dunkin' was in the top 5 brands spontaneously recalled as having advertised, despite this ad being the first one that was shown during the game and having a very wild game afterwards. So a lot of time removed from when they saw it, but still really strong recall. The second thing that's working hard here is that Ben and J-Lo's relationship works on 2 levels to deliver connection with the audience. So we've got their 20-year-long drama, which is well known across many generations and no doubt triggers nostalgia for some, myself included. And then there's a lot of current buzz around their relationship and people kind of cheering for them to work out and to be successful this time. Dunkin' had the highest volume of social mentions by total conversation volume during the game, and Ben Affleck was the most discussed celebrity cameo. 75% of the conversations about this were positive, which is much higher than average. And 67% of people thought that this ad has a place in popular culture. So no doubt that this pair is really bringing that cultural connection for Dunkin'. And then finally, and most important to the success of this particular ad, is that consumers recognize Ben Affleck as a legitimate Dunkin' drinker, thanks to constant paparazzi photo of him enjoying the brand, especially during COVID lockdown. So from our meta-analysis of the Ipsos database, we find that ads deliver 22 points higher persuasion on average when a celebrity has authority or is in a situation that they're known for. So his credibility as a customer of Dunkin' is really, really driving the effectiveness of this spot. I will turn it over to Dave to introduce our next award.
Thanks, Lisa. Hi, everyone. So our next award is the Best Brand Partnership. And this goes to Netflix and GM. They partnered to introduce GM's line of electric vehicles across Netflix catalog of shows. So let's watch and see how they did. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So let's talk about what the success of this ad was really about. So with GM and Netflix, they really had a great fit between that culture and innovation. Starting with Will Ferrell's humorous delivery and really building in the recognizable and highly engaging Netflix backdrop, all the different shows. This created a incredibly likable and unique sort of experience and a very high sort of reference from a pop culture perspective. Those that were familiar with the show felt the ad was speaking directly to them and really culminating in the ability to stand out and be remembered. Now, the ad had incredibly high breakthrough, meaning that people remembered the ad, and over 70% thought it was very entertaining. Lastly, viewers connected the message that GM and Netflix are partnering to amplify attention to EVs. The ad was very strong in terms of told me something new and makes me feel the brand is different from other brands. The other very interesting piece of this is while Netflix didn't end up having their own spots throughout the game, they were the #3 brand for networks and movies and shows for spontaneous recall based on our Fast Facts online survey after the game. So even though they didn't run a traditional spot, Netflix got a lot of benefit along with GM. So next, our Misfits Award. Misfits is a framework that Ipsos has developed to identify category convention breaking yet highly effective ads. Tubi delivered some of the most polarizing and standout advertising of the night, earning our Misfits Award. So let's take a look at the ad. Okay, so Tubi obviously broke some category conventions and delivered some of the most standout advertising of the entire game. Now, viewers paid attention to the ad and they reacted. Some very strongly to the rabbit hole concept, while others were left confused. Now, we did see some polarizing responses. About half of the audience liked the ad very much, while about a quarter actually hated it, and some thought it was confusing. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing here. Most thought it was an interesting creative experience, which helps to make it a misfit. And then the follow-up convention-breaking tactic in the fourth quarter had all of us talking. It dominated all of the social conversation, well above all of the other ads. And I think everyone here probably owes someone an apology when they yelled at them for changing the channel when the remote all of a sudden started freaking out. When in Synthesio, our social listening, we saw that 61% of those mentions were in fact negative. But the upside of this, when you think about it, is Tubi was well remembered as a streaming platform. When we think about this, is all recall good recall? Well, the results are they were the 9th brand overall in terms of spontaneous brand recall across all the ads, and number 1 in the entertainment category. So well done to Tubi for breaking those category conventions. Okay, the next award is for the best use of brand assets. And this award goes to Planters. Now, the Planters mascot was on center stage getting roasted by the roast master himself, Jeff Ross. Let's take a look at the ad.
I'll make this quick, Mr. Peanut. I know you got some brownies to ruin.
Mr. Peanut, why are you dressed like it's 5 recessions ago?
Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut, what do you eat at parties? People?
I'm a big fan. I love your work in Thai food.
We can all agree there's rich, and then there's haven't worn pants in 100 years rich.
Wow, that was brutal. Wish Planters had just killed me off again.
Okay, so this clever use of a very distinctive brand asset, highly recognizable, kept the audience engaged throughout the ad. The brand was on center stage, literally and figuratively, center in the ad itself. The audience highly appreciated this. They immediately recognized who the brand was and what it was all about. What we know in the use of distinctive brand assets, when using a character such as Mr. Peanut, brands have a 6 times chance to be in the top of the Ipsos database in terms of driving impact. And earlier, Lisa mentioned that ads that are in the top of the database for CEI, our Creative Effect Index, have a 45% chance to have better business sales impact. So this was obviously a great example of that. But it wasn't just the use of a distinctive brand asset. It was a great story. 70% of the audience thought it was unique and 73% thought it was entertaining. What does that also mean? That people will talk about this ad. Using our social power index, we see that this has a high potential to keep the conversation going. And in fact, when we think about Planters, they actually built this into their strategy with an extended 12-minute roast online that's already has a high number of organic views, helping to extend the value of this Super Bowl play. Okay, the next award goes to Best Music Payback, and this award goes to T-Mobile. It was a fun, entertaining use of a classic Grease melody with John Travolta reprising his role of Danny to wow the viewers and enable T-Mobile to hit the high notes. But let's take a look at the ad.
Home internet, what a pain in the...
Hey, neighbor!
Try T-Mobile, it sets up so fast.
It's like Wi-Fi that runs on 5G. Home internet from T-Mobile? Wait till you see. Tell me more, tell me more. One cord's all that you need. Tell me more, tell me more. Don't you worry about speed. I can't believe it. It's just $50. Why pay more? Paying more sucks. T-Mobile home internet seems too good to be true. But that's what T-Mobile can do. Tell me more, tell me more.
Okay. So even though this ad was towards the end of the game, fans rewarded T-Mobile with a strong increase in long-term equity, really pointing to the power of the music. The audience loved the Grease reboot. They loved the fact that the lyrics actually connected to the brand, to a specific offer. And what was interesting is they recognized not just John Travolta, but the guys from Scrubs who've been in multiple sets of T-Mobile ads over the last year, highlighting the power of campaign continuity to help connect the audience to the brand. Now, this had incredibly high brand attention. So not only do people remember the brand or the ad, but they also link it back to the brand. What that helped do was make this the 5th highest brand in the entire game from a spontaneous recall perspective. And ultimately, what this did is really drive the way people feel about T-Mobile, strengthening that sort of connection, that closeness, the relationship that they have. And that's a big benefit for T-Mobile. So well done to them. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Rachel, who talked through some of the additional awards.
Hi, everyone. Getting down to the last 3 of our Super Bowl awards for 2023. And this one is for the best use of nostalgia. With 100 years of unique content to celebrate, Disney really wowed fans young and old with this heartwarming look back across all of its movie franchises. The brand wove an emotional mix of vignettes using clips, animation, and even some voiceover from Walt himself. Let's take a look at this wonderful ad from Disney.
Open your eyes.
Think of the one place you've always wanted to see.
This is where our magic comes from?
They say if you dream a thing more than once,
Please, please, please.
it's sure to come true.
Everything you see exists together in the great circle of life.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun.
I told you she was tricky.
Life is full of possibilities. What do you want to be remembered for?
The world is in our hands, and we gotta do something with it.
I just want to say a word of thanks to all the artists, the workers, and all of you. The young and the young in heart. You helped make this dream come true.
Wonderful. So Super Bowl commercials often tap into nostalgic feelings for old favorites. We've seen a lot of that, especially in this year's Super Bowl, with the throwbacks to Grease, Breaking Bad, Clueless, to mention just a few. So Disney spent a great deal of money on a 90-second spot. What did they get out of it? Well, the ad helped to drive very strong feelings for the brand with an equity effect index, one of our key measures in our Spark methodology, of 184. This measures long-term effect potential, indicating that this ad put a very large deposit into Disney's brand value bank this year. It was strongly recalled by respondents, correctly attributed to Disney, and increased feelings of closeness to the brand. So sounds like they got a good deal of value from this. And I think it's fair to say that Disney did not drive, however, a lot of buzz. This is not one of the ads that we saw pop. In the broad entertainment category as a whole, specific titles, actually movie titles, drove the highest volume of social interaction during the game on social media, according to our partner Synthesio. The Flash from Warner Brothers achieved 16% of those mentions and interaction, followed by Disney Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy at 9.5%. So we know which movies are going to be blockbusters this summer. Some people on our team actually even likened this Disney ad to a corporate event video. That's how little buzz they thought it would have. But it's very hard to argue with the ratings that viewers gave this ad, and it is good feelings and good memories in particular that stand out as having impact here. First, there was something for everyone to like, according to feedback in our live qualitative communities. And 89% recognized a show or a movie in the ad. Second, it generated high levels of very positive sentiment. And it also evoked happy memories, with the ad being described as happy and uplifting and reminding people of good times, often being thrown back to their own childhoods or remembering their time with their own children watching these movies rather. So a good effort from Disney and a well-earned award for nostalgia. Next up, we wanted to give an award to a brand that is really focused on nailing its brief. And Google was one of the few brands that we felt decided to approach the Super Bowl as a somewhat normal advertising opportunity, in that it focused on sticking to its strategy of leadership in picture technology and trying to drive potential sales. So in that endeavor, we felt it nailed the brief. Let's take a look at the ad. Great, so that is an engaging 90-second product demo, and it shows the innovation and it provides a strong competitive reason to switch. Our research indicated that Google can expect solid sales impact from this ad, with a creative effect index of 130, driven by high levels of choice consideration among our respondents. So Google benefited from providing intriguing new information about phone features in a story that was very credible from the brand. The functional message was clearly understood by respondents in our Spark assessment. People found the ad informative and it told them something new. Both ratings that are proven to drive behavior change according to analysis of our database of over 6,000 tested ads. And the ad outperformed norms for believability and fit with the brand, suggesting strong value for Pixel 7 from effective branding. Well done, Google. Strong performance. And our final award, the most inclusive ad. We were excitedly looking forward to awarding our most inclusive award this year. So it was a disappointment to find that there were really no good candidates here. And we were not alone in that disappointment. Viewers watching the game in our live community noticed this too and commented on it. I think people of color have not been highlighted enough. I think there could have been ways to incorporate more. So we dug into this a little bit more to understand what was going on. The truth is, there were no shortage of celebrities of color in the ads. Viewers noticed that, but they also noted that authentic and relatable people of color were less visible. Nearly all viewers of color in our online community felt that they could not relate to the people in the ads and that they lacked real, authentic racial and ethnic diversity. Some people expressed a longing for more diversity, and though they enjoy brands working with celebrities, these lifestyles aren't comparable to the lives of everyday people. In addition, while we did not collect data on body weight specifically, many viewers actually called that out for greater inclusivity and more depictions of people of size, in addition to mentions of age and, of course, race and ethnicity. So this lack of inclusivity in the ads was a miss, because inclusive ads drive effectiveness. Ads that deliver positive portrayals of people of color are more effective at driving business results, as this analysis shows of ads that we have tested using our racial equity measure. In fact, there was one ad that did stand out here that we could have given an award to, which would have been McDonald's. The ad actually ran pre-game, so qualify for the award. But as one respondent noted on that, I like the McDonald's commercial. They showed a lot of different alternative lifestyle and racial couples, which I appreciate. So we'll hold this award until next year. So finally, let's anchor our key takeaways from the 2023 Super Bowl ads. First, there's a big opportunity for more authentic representation, as I just mentioned. The audience clearly noticed the lack of ads featuring a diverse cast or an inclusionary message. Ipsos can help guide the development and measure the impact of ads, including underrepresented groups, using its frameworks for cultural authenticity measures and racial equity measures and gender equity measures. Secondly, successful ads are rooted in a powerful insight, often connecting to cultural moments and universal truths. And we saw the top performers in the game bringing those insights to life in strong executions that will deliver results for them. Using our ad strategy solution, Creative Fuel, we are helping clients to pinpoint and align their brand with the right cultural moments and truths to help write better creative briefs and as the foundation for highly effective ads going forward. The brands behind the best ads typically know they have a strong performer before kickoff even starts. 30 seconds is $7 million on average. So it's really smart to assess and optimize ads to ensure they meet the objectives for the business. As we've seen, simple recipes like adding a celebrity or this year a QR code doesn't necessarily equal success. It's best to know in advance. While the game can generate award-winning creative, the best ads are used to anchor a campaign and a clear message and brand assets along with that. Understanding what assets you have and how distinctive they are for your brand is something that we can help you assess and build. And lastly, safe creative is often as much of a risk as novel work. A misfit mindset can avoid getting caught in conventions, and the Super Bowl has plenty of those. Importantly, though, being a misfit isn't about throwing caution to the wind. Instead, it's about telling a powerful story in a fresh but relatable way that enables the brand to deliver on its objectives. Our Misfits framework can help guide the development of both creative and effective ads. Thank you very much for joining us today. We have mentioned a number of different pieces of thought leadership and analysis that we have done that can support a number of the points that we have made and the learnings that we have found in this year's Super Bowl. So please feel free to access these on our website or reach out to me at the email address here, and I'll provide you with those that you're interested in learning more about. We will now answer some of the questions that have been raised during the webinar.
Okay, Rachel, we have one question that came in for you around the Inclusivity Award. So why do you think that there was less focus on inclusivity this year versus previous years?
That's a great question. We theorize that this has a lot to do with the Super Bowl being a cultural barometer. You know, in 2021, during the height of the pandemic and following the events surrounding the murder of George Floyd, we saw advertising in general actually acknowledging the cultural resonance of issues such as these. And last year and this year, Super Bowl advertisers have appeared to really be responding in turn to a desire for more entertainment. You know, we're dealing with inflation, potential recession, a downturn, war, lots of other things that seem to propel advertisers to want to over-index, shall I say, on the entertainment side of the advertising. And, you know, in fact, our data shows that viewers found the ads more entertaining this year than when we look back to a year like 2021. You know, I think 36% of people said the ads this year were more entertaining than previous years. In 2021, that number was only 19%. I think, if I recall correctly. So there's definitely a cultural element to the way in which people approach what they're going to run in the Super Bowl. But I want to say that is not to say that brands have abandoned things like inclusivity or purpose-driven messages, say, around sustainability. I think they've got stronger, actually, in some ways, at integrating those messages into their advertising. For example, we didn't speak about the Hellmann's spot this year in the Super Bowl, but Hellmann's has done a really strong job of combining sustainability messaging with entertaining advertising, humor, the introduction of celebrities. Great job from Hellmann's on that. So I think inclusivity and other sort of more purpose-focused communication is still there, is still very, very important to brands. We see a lot of that happening. We're measuring a lot of it. But the emphasis for the Super Bowl specifically is on entertainment and trying to integrate the two.
Great, thank you. I know we have some other questions, but I think we are up against time. So we will respond to those directly to the folks that asked. And I think we will wrap. So Ellen, back over to you.
Wow. I just really want to thank you guys, Dave, Rachel, and Lisa, for today's really interesting presentation. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's not too late to send us a question. We will email back a response, and you will also receive an email with a link to today's recorded presentation. Don't forget to check out the handouts we've uploaded into the control panel. And of course, at any time we welcome the opportunity to speak with you, so please feel free to reach out to our experts. That now concludes today's Ipsos webinar. Have a wonderful day, everyone.